Sports Chat. I am your host, Nizzy, and in this video you guys are going to be breaking down the Packers versus Lions game that finished up on Monday Night Football last night. Nice bounce back game for us Packers fans out there, you guys. It's a little bit nerve-wracking in that first half, obviously, being down 17-14 going into halftime. Kind of reminiscent of last week with the slow start against the Saints there. Fortunately enough, we were able to get a couple tutties in the first half to keep the game close heading into the second half. Right real quick before we go ahead and start breaking down this video for you guys, if you can go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Been getting a lot of support on the channel lately, you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. We're going to keep coming out with as many videos as possible here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down this game. Obviously, we had a lot better performance from the Packers this week comparatively to week one versus the Saints, you guys. Still, some areas for improvement for sure. Obviously, the defense needs to take another step or two. They had a couple turnovers in the second half that were kind of lucky, if you ask me. I think the nice one was the Devondre Campbell interception, stepping into the throwing lane and being able to pick off Jared Goff when he was under pressure there on a rollout, trying to feed one down the field. And then obviously we ended up getting that fumble recovery as well, which really we didn't do anything to earn that one. That was just all Jared Goff dropping the snap when he was under center there. So, it's nice to get a couple turnovers for the defense, give them a little bit of confidence. I was pretty impressed with our run. Our run defense wasn't too bad at all. We were able to hold Swift to 8 rushes for 37 yards and Jamal Williams for 7 rushes for 25 yards. I think Goff had more rushing yards than the running backs on his team, so that can tell you that we did a pretty nice job against their run game, didn't allow them to break away for too many big runs. Which, is to be expected. That's kind of was Joe Barry's specialty, is stopping the run. So you can tell that our run defense has gotten better for sure with him as our defensive coordinator. The one thing that I will say, though, you guys, is our pass defense looks absolutely atrocious. Goff was looking like an absolute all-pro caliber quarterback in that first half of the game. Once again, we saw Kevin King get absolutely burnt alive a couple times there in the first half. I mean, they got to get this guy out of the starting lineup, in my opinion. He should be our third or fourth option in the cornerback room. I think Eric Stokes deserves the starting role. He did really, really nice as a rookie in his second performance in the big leagues here. He had that really nice shutdown on 4th and 1 there. Was able to get that pass breakup and be able to, have them get a turnover on downs, and we were able to get the ball over to our offense there. So I really liked what I seen from Eric Stokes in this game. There's obviously some miscommunications on defense as well on a couple of those touchdowns, just between him and Kevin King not knowing which guy is supposed to take the man on the outside there. So that one kind of burnt us a little bit. But at the end of the day, I like the improvements I seen from him. But I think we got to get Kevin King out of that starting lineup, man. I just don't think he's good enough quality of a cornerback to be able to be a starter, especially when you're going up against some of the top end talent in the league where their second option wide receiver, is a really good option for a lot of teams. We're going to be struggling mightily if we keep that guy in. I mean, he's just getting burnt in his one-on-one matchups on the outside, left, right, and center. We're going to need a guy with some speed who can catch up if they make a mistake, and unfortunately Kevin King just does not have that speed to be able to catch up to the guy he's defending if he does make a mistake on reading the route or trying to keep on the back hip of his guy. Whereas Eric Stokes, if he does make a mistake on a read like that, he's got that top-end speed to be able to get down the field and make up for it. So I just would like to see him in the starting lineup a little more, you guys. Other than that, I was happy that the defense was able to get a shutout in the second half, which was very important for us, especially after giving up 17 first-half points there. It wasn't looking very good for us in the first half. The Lions basically were able to move the ball at will. Pretty much anything they were calling for plays was working out for them. They were getting 4, 5, 6-yard chunks at a time on us there. Really wasn't getting any stops in the backfield. Even the one sack that we did get was basically, Goff's fault for fumbling the ball. So they gave us a sack fumble on that play, which obviously wasn't really any doing of our teammates, right? It was just, him fumbling the ball from the snap and having to try and go down and cover it up, which we were thankful Chris Barnes was able to get in there and snag that ball for the turnover. But at the end of the day, you'd like to see a better effort from the defense. Hopefully that communication gets going a little bit better, obviously with a new system and Joe Barry as our new defensive coordinator there. We're going to need those guys getting on the same page. And we're going to have to figure out how to get a pass rush going, man, because our pass rush is terrible. You could really notice, that was one of the weaknesses within our defense is our defensive line is just in shambles without Zadarius Smith out there, you guys. We really didn't acquire anybody to help out Kenny Clark on the inside of that line during the offseason. I mean, and you could tell because our D line looks like trash. I'll just say it right away here, you guys. I think our defensive line is probably one of the weakest defensive lines in the league. You got one Pro Bowl caliber defensive lineman in Kenny Clark, and after that, you got a bunch of nobodies. Kingsley Keke didn't perform well. Lancaster didn't perform well. Dean Lowry didn't perform well. Didn't see any plays from TJ Slayton. Obviously, he's a rookie, so it's going to take some time for him to develop. But we need to get some pass rush, man. The fact that the Packers do not do anything to help out our pass rush and get some guys on the inside interior of that defensive line in the offseason just baffles me. We're going to need some help there, man. I just didn't like the fact that we didn't get anyone in the interior defensive line to go alongside Kenny Clark this offseason. And you can tell that it's, an issue that's going to be continuing. You got big-time teams like the Steelers and the San Francisco 49ers coming up. They're going to absolutely just dominate the trenches against our defensive and offensive line because they just got the better guys in the trenches. So, those are going to be tough games for us if we can't make any changes or figure out how to get some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, Goff had an open pocket most of the night, was able to pretty much do what he wanted in there. Obviously, we got a little more pressure in the second half, but still not very much. Compared to what we're used to seeing when Z's out there. Obviously, he's down with injury right now, so someone's got to be able to step up on this defensive side of the ball for us. Didn't see a lot of guys stepping up this week, unfortunately. But, we're a work in progress on defense here. Hopefully, we just keep taking that next step every single week and getting a little bit better every single week and getting primed up for playoff ball come the end of the season. So, a little bit of the stat lines for you guys here today. Rodgers ended up finishing the day 22 for 27, completing 255 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nice game from him overall. Had a couple missed passes, but nothing major. He had that one pass there that should have been intercepted. Thankfully, it wasn't. The guys weren't able to hold on to it. And then he had another bad pass there in the red zone. That was to Marquez Valdes-Scantling on a little slant. A little pick and slant there that he just threw behind him, so Valdez wasn't able to turn around and grab that one. Kind of a tough one for him to catch when he's, going full sprint forward, and Rodgers threw the ball behind him, which he did end up making up for because on the next play he ended up throwing a touchdown to Aaron Jones out of the backfield there. So you can't harp on him too much. Still made the plays necessary. Obviously, he had that nice dime to Devontae for 50 yards there. Had that awesome pass to Tonyan for the touchdown there that he basically just laser beamed right over the head of their middle linebacker that was turned away from him. So a nice pass there by Rodgers as well. But to steal the show last night, you guys, it was Aaron Jones all the way. This guy was phenomenal from start to finish. Brought that energy and that juice that we needed so desperately on the offensive side of the ball. He finished the night with 17 rushes for 67 yards and 1 touchdown. Also had 6 receptions for 48 yards and 3 touchdowns, so a 4 TD night for the guy. Just outstanding performance from him. You can see why we paid him and decided to keep him as our all-star running back for the foreseeable future here in the next few seasons, you guys. I mean, he deserves every penny from what we could see from last night. One of the better running backs in the league, and I'm glad that we have him on our squad for the next few years, you guys. I would say if you had to pick between who was the better Aaron, I would say Aaron Jones was the better Aaron last night. Just with the capability out of the passing game and the running game, this dude's just such a multifaceted tool for us. And that's no slight on Rodgers, man. He had a phenomenal game like yesterday as well. But Aaron Jones is just such an absolute Swiss Army knife of a tool for us, man. Glad we have him back on our team. We're going to need him for the next few weeks to come and the rest of the season here for sure. Adams had a nice bounce-back game as well. 8 receptions, 121 yards. Pretty much the only guy that could get open consistently for us. Clearly, that's looking like another problem for the Packers, you guys, is our receiving core. Other than Adams for receivers, Randall Cobb had 3 receptions for 26 yards, and that was the only other receiver that caught a pass. All the other passes that were caught came from tight ends and running backs. Tonyan had 3 receptions for 52 and 1 tutty. Beautiful touchdown that he had there, being able to catch it over the top of the linebacker when the linebacker was looking away from Aaron Rodgers there. But at the end of the day, man, we're looking like we're a team that doesn't have wideouts that can get open again. I mean, Allen Lazard and Marquez Valdes-Scantling have pretty well looked non-existent to this point throughout the season. We expected a big breakout season from MVS here, man, and the dude has not shown up to party yet. Hopefully that changes in the weeks to come because we're going to need those guys to step up as 3rd and 4th options, obviously coming up with big-time teams like San Francisco next week. they're going to do everything they can to shut down Devontae and Aaron Jones. So we're going to need other guys to step up. And if they're not capable of doing that, we're not going to be able to get wins against these upper echelon teams throughout the league. So that's a big thing for me, you guys. I think our receiving rooms need to step up a little bit here. I thought the O-line held up pretty nice in yesterday's game. I thought our run blocking was solid. Pass blocking was solid. Couple mistakes here and there. But overall, for having, 2 rookies on that O-line starting, as well as John Runyon, a second-year guy, starting as well, and on the inside of that offensive line, I thought they did a pretty solid job last night. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got sacked a couple times, but I feel like he was holding on to the ball a little bit just because wide receivers couldn't get open quickly enough for him to be able to get a quick seed thrown in there. So overall, decent performance. Nice bounce-back game for us, taking the score 35-17. Didn't allow Goff to go too crazy. He threw 1 interception, 2 touchdowns, went 26 for 36 for 246 yards. Obviously, we got lucky in that second half with the Detroit Lions, shooting themselves in their own foot, making a few mistakes that, weren't caused by us, just blunder mistakes that happened on their own account. So we got to take advantage of those situations, which we did. Was really impressed with the rookie Eric Stokes. I think this guy should be moved up to the starting role already. Like I said, I just think he's better than Kevin King already, you guys. So I think he should be moved up to the starting lineup already. Get Kevin King as like the third option out there. He's good against backup wideouts, man, but he's not good against the first or second option wide receivers. He gets beat so often. So I just want to see them, make some adjustments here, because that's what the season's all about. You got to make just adjustments from first half to second half, which we've seen that we did, which was good. Our second half was a lot better than the first. And then same thing, you got to have those week-to-week adjustments. So you just hope that defense continues to get better, man. That's pretty much going to be the do-or-die factor for us, I believe, coming the end of the year is the defense, and if our wide receivers can step up enough to go along with that offensive line to be able to make a good push throughout the playoffs here. Tough game coming up against the 49ers next week on Sunday Night Football, you guys. I don't know about that one. We'll have to see. I'm going to do a little preview video later this week and give my prediction on who I think is going to win the game. Still up in the air right now. To me, this is one of those 50-50 games coming up. We could win, we could lose, we could get blown out, we could blow them out. It totally depends on how we show up on Sunday. The way things have gone in the past, it hasn't looked very good for us against the 49ers when they are healthy, so hopefully we can change that and come out with a nice game on Sunday night. But we'll see what happens, you guys. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it, man. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section down below. Would love to get your guys' opinion on how you thought the Packers fared throughout this game and what your guys' expectations are heading into week 3 here, if you think we're going to have a chance against the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, you guys, like I said, appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you so choose. And this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat.